Oh, god damn it.
Creepypasta, the cornerstone of the internet horror community. Thousands of stories that have circulated the internet and frightened readers both old and young alike for over 2 decades now. Feel old yet? I know that most of us know creepypasta or have come across some form of it during our internet browsing history. I felt that it'd be a nice stroll down old memory lane on some of the biggest stories and characters that brought to life a whole genre in the horror community. Brief intro for those of you who are new here. My name is Mr. Ratio, and I've taken the wheel from Mr. Plus for today's video. Feel free to check out our other vids that cover all kinds of analog horror and whatnot. We also have some socials here and a Discord that you are more than welcome to join and chat with us. Like, sub, you know the drill. It is all much appreciated. But now you can come on through. So, since the term has been thrown around so much for almost anything horror online, what is a creepypasta? Well, a creepypasta is a horror-related story that gets copied and pasted around the internet with the intent to scare readers. Now, obviously this definition isn't as cut and dry since there has been a wide variety of stories that aren't necessarily copy and pastable, but they can still be considered creepypastas. This term also originated on 4chan back in 2007, so, things change over time. But I also realize that many of these stories have been covered by a plethora of other people, so I'm not going to go cave diver deep into each story since most of you have probably heard or read most of these stories in some capacity. But if you do want a deeper dive into any of these or a different creepypasta that I don't discuss today, please let me know. Creepypastas are still an active medium as well, so there's thousands of them out there, so I apologize if I don't get to some of the other iconic ones. But today we are going to look at some of my personal favorites: Slenderman, sonic.exe, Godzilla NES, Jeff the Killer, and Herobrine. Starting off with the daddy of creepypastas, the infamous Slenderman. Slenderman is arguably the most famous and popular creepypasta, having spawned multiple online stories, games, books, crime, even a movie at one point. But Slenderman was first introduced online in 2009 in the Something Awful internet forum. The forum was having a Photoshop contest, and the creator, Eric Knudsen, submitted 2 black and white photographs of children with Slenderman creeping in the background, with text added to the photos, creating a background and fictional tale behind the photographs. This got the ball rolling, and not long after, multiple people started adding additional photos and texts, which expanded the lore of the character. After being shared around the internet, it wasn't long before others started creating fan art and stories with the character, which added to the encompassing lore. Slenderman himself is typically represented as a large, slender figure with pure white skin, no facial features, wearing a black suit, and usually disproportionate arms and legs to his body. He also will have these tendrils that accompany him in most media. He usually stalks his victims in the wilderness or isolated areas and typically can inflict paranoia and an overwhelming sense of dread on his victims. This overall uncanny humanoid presence and unknown motivation is what keeps the character creepy and unsettling. Having spawned popular video games and miniseries online, like Marble Hornets, there's no lack of inspiration for future projects with stories with the character. Having taken the internet by storm in the 2010s, it's no surprise that Slenderman has helped create and shape the creepypasta genre. Jeff the Killer is another iconic face, literally, of the creepypasta genre, and you can think of him as the internet's boogeyman. If you were online in early 2010, specifically prowling on forums, YouTube, or pretty much anywhere else, you probably were subjected to this abomination of a photo. A pale face, Alexandra Daddario eyes, and that malicious smile. It's burned into the brains of a whole generation. The story behind Jeff is a blend of tragedy and malice. Jeff's story begins with a regular teen who is relentlessly bullied, things quickly then spiral out of control, and he gets set on fire and becomes horribly disfigured, and upon seeing his face, he becomes mad. He mutilates himself by carving a smile into his face, kills his family, and proceeds to drop off the face of the earth. Jeff is then rumored to then become a serial killer who utters his iconic line, "Go to sleep." Chilling, simple, and easy to remember for the thousands of people who read his story. Jeff's story was a blend of cheesy and sinister enough to captivate audiences around the world, and it helped him stay in the back of readers' minds well after being introduced to him. Jeff evolved from just a story into a symbol of internet horror. You'd see his face appear in random videos, clickbait thumbnails, in fan art, pretty much everywhere. Jeff's story isn't just about fear, it's about how fear can spread, how it can evolve, and how it grew in the early history of the internet. When you saw his face, you knew you weren't going to be getting any sleep that night. The next nightmare-inducing story on our list is Sonic.exe, which is one of those stories that just comes off kind of like a fever dream. It takes our beloved and iconic Sonic the Hedgehog and it twists him into a demented nightmare. The general gist of the story is that the writer receives a mysterious game disc in the mail from his friend with a written warning to destroy the disc and to never play it. The writer ignores this and boots up the game on their computer, and instead of a normal classic Sonic game, they are greeted by a bloodthirsty demonic version of Sonic, and the entire game is ridden with glitches, sinister in-game messages, and an overall dreadful feeling creeps over the writer. Sonic in the game seems self-aware and keen on causing as much torment to the in-game NPCs, but also to whoever is playing the game as well. The whole idea of taking something that is so familiar and iconic and twisting it into something hostile is what captivates people and makes the story intriguing and creepy. The story doesn't try to be subtle or invoke thought, it tries to scare you, and at the core of it, that's all that most people want out of horror, is to be scared. The story spawned tons of fan games which mimic the story beat by beat, videos, memes, and even parodies. Sonic.exe might not be considered high art, but it certainly left a mark on the early internet and creepypasta. What helped make Sonic.exe work was the fact that this was early internet culture before everything became so polished and commercialized. During this time, it traversed its way around naturally, like all other early creepypastas. It felt like you were hearing a story around a digital campfire late at night. In later years, it did get memed to death, but at its core, it's an extremely recognizable story and version of the character. Those bloody eyes, that creepy fucking smile, the way that it just feels like Sonic knows who you are, and you can just read so much emotion out of that sinister face. The idea of a game being self-aware with malicious intent to harm the player is certainly a reason this story has been ingrained in the creepypasta community. Considering the amount of Godzilla content we've gone over the past few months, it would be insulting not to cover the infamous and well-known Godzilla NES creepypasta. Its general premise is similar to that of Sonic, where it revolves around the writer playing a seemingly innocent game, but immediately realizing that the game they are playing has a mind of its own. This creepypasta is a long one, but I highly recommend it. It's very entertaining and creepy. The story revolves around a corrupted version of a Godzilla game for the original Nintendo system. What starts off as weird and coincidental events quickly delves into madness, with the game becoming filled with disturbing imagery, mysterious entities, and a malicious presence in the game only known as Red. Red is a grotesque creature that hunts you down throughout the game. What makes this story so interesting is not just the horror elements, which are executed very well with screenshots from the fictional game, but through the building of tension as you come to realize with the narrator that the game knows them. Red knows them. By the end of the story, the line between game and reality is so blurred. Red is more than just a creepy NPC, he represents malice and psychological horror. He can manifest himself in different ways, and he knows the narrator's whole past. The way the story can blend retro and psychological horror is what gives this story a foothold in the creepypasta genre. Granted, it's not the first haunted or corrupted game story in the genre, but it is able to build tension and dread in ways that the other stories don't. Going back to the idea of a game being self-aware or haunted is itself a creepy premise, but incorporating this into games that are supposed to be safe and nostalgic are what make it even creepier. If I booted up an old Godzilla game and I saw that fucking thing and it was telling me specific info about my life, fuck that. Oh hell no. Red's creepy little smile can kindly screw off. But all of this combines to create an effective, creepy tale. Next on our list is Herobrine, a Minecraft creepypasta and rumor. Herobrine is one of the most well-known figures from the Minecraft community, besides Steve himself. His story first gained attention around 2010 when a player posted online claiming to have seen another player in their world with no name, wearing the default skin Steve, but with glowing white eyes. The post described other strange events in their world, such as carved tunnels and trees missing leaf blocks, which they attributed to Herobrine himself. The internet went along and named him Herobrine, which then started spawning in other stories, screenshots, clips, and turning into a full creepypasta. Despite Minecraft's developer Mojang denying Herobrine's existence, they even jokingly would add removed Herobrine at the end of update notes on new game updates. His aura grew stronger, There are many ideas as to who Herobrine is, such as being a haunted entity, a demonic spirit, or the game's creator Notch's dead brother, even though Notch himself has come out and said he doesn't even have a brother. He is usually represented as a malicious NPC who stalks players and alters their world that they play in. As time went on, Herobrine spawned mods, fan games, fan art, and videos dedicated to him. While Herobrine has never actually been a part of the Minecraft game itself, his impact has been ingrained in Minecraft's culture. He lives on through the players. Herobrine is another prime example of taking a video game that is supposed to be calm and relaxing and turning it malicious, which in turn gains people's attention and keeps them captivated and wanting to play more. Herobrine's impact in both the creepypasta community and the Minecraft community cannot be denied or understated. So, that covers our creepypasta stories for today. I now realize that like half of these were video game ones, but nevertheless, video game horror is pretty popular, so I would hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to go over any more specific creepypastas in the future, or any of the ones I just talked about in depth, please let me know, because a lot of these has so much more story and lore than just the brief snippets I went over, so please let me know. We are always open to recommendations, and we love looking at what y'all send us. But that is all I have for you guys today. You'll be getting your normal Sunday video from Mr. Plus, and another one from me in the coming weeks. I hope you enjoyed your time here today, and feel free to like, sub, share, all that good stuff. And any links that you might be interested in are going to be in the description below. I hope you all enjoyed your stay today, and I hope you stick around for what we have to offer in the future. Have a good day or night, and I shall talk to y'all soon. See ya!